I'm Jessica.
And I'm T.
And we're the hosts of Two Black Talks. Today we're joined by some young black intellectuals to discuss the countless of missing black women.
According to ABC News, 50-year-old Dedrick Bell was a part of a Detroit motel raid, which 200 agents and officers were involved in a sex trafficking ring.
So the question for today is, why do you think so many black women are being kidnapped and murdered?
Do you think it's like a government involvement? Do you think it's individuals conspiring to do it?
It just came out of nowhere, this epidemic.
I don't think it came out of nowhere though. I think it's been happening.
Right.
And then recently it's been
resurfacing coverage.
Okay.
I think coverage has definitely been researched. So do you feel as though government is trying their best to dilute the amount of kidnappings that are occurring to black women?
Dilute it as stop it from happening? Or no, I think they're trying to dilute it from us noticing it or seeing it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're necessarily doing anything to fix the problem. It's not enough to just see a Facebook post about it. Yeah. You gotta do more.
Yeah.
And that's really all we see. All
it's just
really
the repost.
All we really see is Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. We don't really see it on the news.
So do we think that it's just black women that are being targeted, or do you think that women in general are being targeted?
I think women of color mostly.
I would definitely agree with that.
I do think it does happen to white women as well, but I think it's way more black. It's more happening to way more black women. But I know for a fact, if it was the same amount of white women as black women being missing,
it would
way more would be.
Yeah.
That leads right into a question we have. But I'm gonna let you finish what you were saying.
I was gonna say, like, Dave Chappelle did made it part of the skit. He's talking about how like this little white girl got kidnapped, and basically like she was missing for days, and she was kept like 10 miles away from her house. But like, and mad people were talking about it. But this little black girl got kidnapped, and she had been gone for for mad long, and she took the initiative to like escape her kidnapper and make it back home, and she didn't even get the same media attention. And he was making a joke, but like, you know how Dave Chappelle is. He's making he's actually saying something about like the state of like our nation and how we treat our people.
That's a fact. So what do you think that we're saying the government hasn't done anything? What do we think that that they could do, or what are some things that we suggest they do?
Definitely more news coverage.
Yeah, I would definitely say more news coverage. Like the other day I was getting ready for school, and on the news, like they talking about what's your favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving. Like, is that what we talking about on the news? Like, you know, like you could talk about that on social media. Like, so I feel like they're not paying enough attention. They're not doing enough news coverage, and that's the biggest thing. And like you was talking about, like black women versus white women, they definitely more focus on white women because they view them as more of a priority. Black women, they don't view them as a priority, so that's the reason why things are the way they are now. Like,
that's awesome that you said that, because there was an article titled "Our Black Women and Girls Have Gone Missing, but Few Seem to Care." Stacey Brown, she said, "Black girls are magical and should be noticed, uplifted, and acknowledged, both within and outside of the black community." A licensed marriage therapist, Ginger Lavender, said that to recognize black girls as magical means defining them as precious, unique, and valued. When society recognizes their worth and value, I believe that more attention will be paid to this matter. In addition, it will call for all people to recognize this as an epidemic and cause for action. So do you agree with the family and marriage license that if society did value black women as precious and valuable, they would put more effort out in there?
most definitely. Most definitely. There's no doubt about it, you know, because they're already like that with white women, like we just talked about. They get mad coverage. If one go missing, you're most likely they're gonna find them. They sending SWAT teams. They sending everybody. They're not doing that for black women. So at the end of the day, yeah, I believe that's true. And yeah, like I don't know, like if we talked about things that they could do about it, it will definitely be news coverage, and I think they should get in contact with a lot more local police stations, because I know we talked about the government, but we don't really talk about like communities, like you know, different police departments, because it's also about them too. You know, when it comes to police departments and people going missing in different places, they not getting in contact with the government, they get in contact with each other. So if they decide they want to find this black girl, or if they want to find that white girl, that's up to them. If we say fuck the black girl, we about to go find this white girl, that don't got nothing to do with the government. I mean, at the end of the day, we know what the government is about, but it's these departments too. It's the places that they come from down south New York, big places where they know people going on vacation, Miami, women getting kidnapped, black women specifically, nice bodies, everything, things that people want, things that you know kidnappers are looking for whatever reason, whatever they're doing with these women, that's what it is. So,
speaking about the government, I think that as black people, we have to understand the state and condition that we're in. I think that it's very imperative that we realize the situation we're in and that we make steps towards helping ourselves. Because it's like we can sit here for only so long and beg them to respect us and beg them to value us before we actually do it ourselves. I feel like if we were at a point where we valued ourselves to that capacity, we wouldn't even go looking for anyone else outside of ourselves to be our protection. So I think the question goes into us, like as black people, how can we protect ourselves? And I feel like that starts between the conversation between the black man and the black woman, because I feel like that relationship itself too has been damaged. I think that has a bearing on why they don't value, because I think the black woman is not as valued as she should be by the black man, and therefore outside of us they don't respect anything going on within that.
The black woman is easily without a doubt, like, for everything that she is worth, she is the most over-sexualized, abused, disrespected being on earth. Like amongst human beings, like she's the most disrespected on earth. Because a lot of people will say, if you look at demographics, if you're a black woman, you have it bad. If you're a black woman who's a Muslim, you have it worse. If you're a black woman who is LGBT and Muslim, you are literally basically at the bottom. Like nobody cares about you. So realistically, it's just about, I think, understanding how black women are, I feel like it says a lot about how black women are a pillar, if not the pillar of the black community. So if you remove the black woman, then it's like, okay, now it's easier to dismantle the black community. So like the black community's never been able to like have a step up, just because people are consistently attacking our women and they trick us as black men into not appreciating our women as well. So.
Yeah, just like, you know, the article had said, like, if black women were more valued and knew that they were magical, then things like this wouldn't happen. But I think it happens because we are magical and because they know
I was
about to say that.
I was
a
thinking
threat
just
to
now.
I was about to say
definitely.
that.
Threat.
Oh my
We
God.
keep saying that we see our state of the nation. That is a true fact, but we know we're supposed to be protected. Like, we know how the rules go, but we have to use that against them. We should not be disappearing like this. White people get Amber Alerts. They want to call town hall meetings. They want to get press involved. Black people, the most we can do is ask our family.
It is called
and
Amber
friends.
Alert.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it's not a Shakina alert.
that was a fact right there, because every Amber Alert I ever got on my phone has something to do with a white girl. But if you pay attention though, black people dominate social media. Why do you think when a black girl goes missing, those posts go viral? It's not on the news, but it's going viral. We dominate social media. People want to see us singing, dancing, becoming doctors, taking pictures at graduation. People watching us. They don't give a fuck about them. So that's our platform right there. And I think that's another thing that people don't like, and when it comes to black women too. And when we talk about them being magical and all that other stuff, that's facts. And what they're trying to do now is, because since so many black men are being killed by police and are being put in jail, what does that leave? That leaves the women and that leaves their children. These women are focused on their men. They focus on holding them down. They got so much stuff on their plate that they can't even juggle. They can't even juggle the politics that we talking about right now. They just trying to make a way. They just trying to do what they can for their family. And that's the fucked up part, because I feel as though like women are so black, especially black women, they're emotional, but not in a negative way. They're emotional in a positive way. They care about everything that affects them. Yeah, they care about everything that affects them, and all that. That's why so many black women actually standing up these days and really speaking their mind, because that at once upon a time that was just a man's position, but now we need women in this position because all our black men being locked up. That's right up these white people alley, get them black men in jail, so that way now we got the black women, we can easily handle them. Now look, all these black women going missing and we not even putting it on social media.
Yeah.
Did you guys peep, going back to where like everybody's saying like the black girls going missing, I just want to bring up a case. I'm from just made it, so I know like about this case. I think it's like
Rodney or something like
no,
that.
it's a girl, a little white girl, John Bonet or something like that.
The
The pageant queen, the little pageant queen, right? Who went who like went missing out of nowhere because she was a pageant queen. She had titles. Very small girl, but she's a little white girl. She went missing. Her case went viral. FBI got involved.
Wow.
Everybody got involved, and it turned out that her own parent killed her.
No, I thought it was the brother.
The brother?
They still
What's the
don't
brother?
know.
They
They
still
still
don't
don't
know.
know.
Definitely
the brother.
Somebody in the family. Somebody
I know,
She
yeah, it
was murdered
definitely somebody
in her
from-
house.
in the house.
Yeah.
But they try to play it off. Like she got kidnapped. Like somebody.
Oh my God.
The mom had like a ransom
Exactly. A ransom note and everything. But it's stuff like that goes on, and to think about it, it's like they're like the cops and the government was so quick to jump behind this case and try to find this little white girl. But then when there's not even one or not even a handful, when there's millions of black little girls going missing, nobody's doing nothing, and it kind of like I don't want to say it discourages me, but it makes me like it discourages me about America for the simple fact that stuff like this could go on, but nobody, like, and you see cases where something is falsified, but people are so bandwagoning that case instead of looking at the real facts of these little black girls actually going missing. That's millions of black girls' voices that are not being heard. Millions of black girls' lives being taken away. Who knows? They could have really been a lawyer, next judge, president. Yeah. But you don't know because their voices are being stripped away by people who see the magic in them, but don't want them to prosper.
But do you guys see a link between these missing black girls and the new studies that show that your uterus can be?
I was about to.
I've seen that video.
I'm gonna let Jocelyn go, and then we're gonna hear from somebody else.
That's crazy because I had posted a video on my IG and I had sent it to her. It was a very controversial video talking about how, okay, so did you see the post about how in the next few years they're trying to implant uterus into transgender men?
I didn't hear that it was transgender men. I heard that it was women who were incapable of having children.
Oh no, I heard the
transgender.
transgender.
I heard the transgender.
Yeah, transgender men. So that kind of put me back to Get Out theory because in the Get Out theory they were taking black bodies and living in them. Yeah. So the black market for black organs, like when that young man went missing, and they found him rolled up into the mat, and his organs were all gone. There were so many cases of that you've seen of black missing people, and when they found them, their heart was gone,
Not only were their organs missing, right? So like the organs are missing. So even if you even need any more evidence, right? So in that case, he was found rolled up in a gym mat.
Yes.
His organs were missing, and his body was filled with like
Something was filled up
like
with
paper bags, like cardboard paper. That's not just like exactly. That's methodical. Let me some. And even the Onion did a video like a couple of years ago that just resurfaced on social media. They made a joke. They was making a joke, and it was like they do a lot of satire. If you've ever read like the Onion. And they made a video where they were like, oh, a generous donation of over 125,000 kidneys was made. And it's funny, but then when you think about the context, that's what they're trying to make you think about. They're like, yo, this shit is not okay. Because like in the video, it's like, oh, I'm just thankful for the donation. You know, I don't know where this would come from. You know, like and nobody's alarmed. Like they open this bag that's full of kidneys, and like they take a hat out of it. Like, and they're making like a joke out of it. They're like, no, like. Pay attention, like people, what's going on.
And not even just that, I've also been seeing stuff on social media, like I've been seeing videos of women recording themselves running from cars, talking about how
Oh my God, I see that one video
where
this girl was screaming like at the top of her lungs, and I was so scared.
Was it the one where the two people was on the porch?
Yeah, and they're like looking, they don't see shit, and you can't see nothing, but like you can hear her screaming, and then it was like a horrific scream, like you could hear the turn in her voice. It was just to hear that as another black girl,
that's
just
scary.
like,
and it was another post that I seen on Facebook of this girl writing out how her sister was going to Walmart and these two black men kept following her around. And literally got to a point where he grabbed her and then she like showed posts of like the scratches on her neck, on her arms and stuff like that. It was another one I seen on I think Instagram or Twitter, and this girl was like shooken up, like she was literally like talking like this, and she's like, oh my God, I just got out of a lift. I was in the lift and I wasn't paying attention. I was on the phone and this guy was making turns and I started saying, sir, where are you going? This is not the way to my job. And he wouldn't say anything, and I just kept asking him, where are you going? And she was like shaking up even in the way she was talking. And she was like, I kept asking him, he wouldn't tell me. Then we came to this warehouse and I'm like, where am I? And she said she immediately just got out the car and started booking it. Like she was out.
I would have stopped, dropped, and rolled as soon as he said that turn. He was playing with Bro, and then that's another thing that I've seen that I know is very true.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like you gotta check if that safety lock is on when y'all get insurance.
Yeah, the license.
And I be, as soon as I do it, if I listen, I'm looking at faces, I'm looking at license plates. If I even feel suspicious, quick screenshot, I'm sending it to my friend. All my close friends have my location on lock. Like I don't even be
Whenever I see
playing, bro.
cars that are Lyfts or Ubers and I see black women in them, I'm not even gonna lie. I be like, even like I be driving somewhere and I be like, dude, I think I though, like, cause like you don't know, like,
It makes you nervous.
You
Like,
gotta walk
like,
around with that mindset.
That we shouldn't have that.
We shouldn't have to, but it's important that we get over the fact that we don't have to and actually do it.
Yeah, because
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we can get caught up in the fact that like, yo, why are y'all not helping us? Why you're not the? We at this point, yes, we know we need it,
Yeah.
but at this point, really, like, fuck that. Like, we gotta. That's why I want the conversation right now to turn into, how can we get the relationship as black men and black women to a point where we can get like, you know, some form of security, like some sort of uniformity in the way that we protect ourselves. So it's more than just like, yeah, you're my sister, I'm protected. Like we need like a real hands-on, like sort of like a worldwide like neighborhood watch type shit. Of
Yeah,
black
I
people
agree
type
with that,
shit.
and I'm not trying
Yeah.
to alarm anybody, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but these last few weeks, when I walk, cause like y'all know I be alone most of the time.
Yeah.
So when I walk alone at night, even in the daytime, there's always some car either pulling up on the side, staring at me, slowing down.
Yeah.
I've had cars circle around. One day I was walking with my roommate, and him and I were walking from a friend's house, and this guy circled around like 3 times. And I told him, I'm like, he's following us. But I'm like used to this at this point because like this has been happening to me. Literally, like I'm not even capping, like for the last few weeks. And I like look in their faces, I look at the car, I try to identify the car to see like what type of car it is, if I keep seeing a repeating of that same car, because like I kind of get nervous. So like when I walk at night, I make sure like I'm on the phone with somebody, or like I'm very alert because like I don't know if somebody's gonna like run up on me. I don't even know if I'm being watched or not at this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like you said, we need like some type of modern day like Black Panthers or something like that. Like we need like a modern.
Say less. Let's not talk too much about that on camera.
Because I feel like we already got a base though. Like when you walk into a room full of white people and you see like 2 black people in the corner, what area you gonna sit in?
We'll sit with them.
Or even if you don't know them, you gonna sit in that area. You know, like
Yeah, that's your people.
And it's good that y'all have this conversation as well, because this podcast I've been wanting you to listen to with David Banner, D.L. Hughley on it as well. It's called the Pentagram Shift, I think this is called.
Paradigm.
Paradigm.
There's me the frame of figures.
Yeah, a paradigm shift. And that podcast just opened my mind up like crazy. I'm like, yeah, we need to build a nation. We need to do this because like the government isn't protecting us. We have to protect ourselves.
We gotta do it different though. You gotta do it different. I really feel like I'm not even gonna get to it.
We have to bring our kids.
We can talk about
our
that.
kids.
That's what he was talking about.
Yes, not on camera.
Not on camera.
But my question is, how are we
We love
gonna
everyone.
how are we gonna get black people who don't feel the way we feel, who feel as though
That's the thing. I've gotten to the point where I realize some of us, you're just gonna have to let them go.
Yeah,
Some of us are just too far gone. We have, in order for us to be able to restore and get to another place, I can't force you to want to be in what I want to be in. So like, if I want the type of community where it's just, you know, people around me like me and things like that, I gotta go with those people. I can't go with the people that want to be for everybody.
What Harriet said.
Like, it's to each his own.
What did Harriet say?
What she say, brother?
They asked her, they said, Harriet, how many slaves did you save?
As
They
many
asked her,
as
how many
slaves.
slaves did she save? She said, I may have saved 1,000 slaves, but I would have saved 1,000 more if they
only
knew they
they
were
were
slaves.
We gotta uproot that though, because that goes into the mentality of how we think about ourselves, how we think about each other and stuff like that.
That's also a podcast.
Dropping
He was
gems.
talking about self-love and how like we don't love each other. He said, I can't stand black people. He said, why you say that? He said, because we're some liars. He said, well, how are we liars? He said, because we sit here and say we love each other, but we don't. He said, because you don't even love yourself. So how can you not love yourself and say you love someone else? I said,
That's a fact. But here's the thing though, we've been conditioned to not love ourselves and not others. So it's the process of unlearning and relearning. You have to condition your kids to the information that you want to know and the paradigm that you want for yourself. So it's like, I think the main thing to attacking our change is just the kids. And the education is primary. Because it starts when we're in those environments in elementary, the certain things we learn. We don't understand the power of the subconscious. We do not understand the power of the subconscious, because all these things that we're learning, we're suppressing them, and they become into our, they just jump in our subconscious. And it's like, if I'm growing up as a kid, all the people that ever done shit great was white. And then the only time I ever hear about black people is when I get into like 10th, 11th or social. Yeah, you gonna give you the MLK. We not, and they not even getting too deep in the mouth now. They don't talk. Rosa. Yeah. They give you a good. They don't give you nobody that did no revolutionary shit. They don't talk about no Marcus Garvey's.
I was in 4th grade talking about something.
I had to bring him up.
You two talking about something. What? Wait, what this brother Michael talking about? White devils? Yeah. What you mean?
Like, never again. And when we was talking about like pivotal black people, I had to bring up Marcus Garvey because my mother had told me about him. And then when I brought up Marcus Garvey to my teacher in high school, that's when she went home and created a lesson plan on Marcus Garvey.
Wow.
So it's, that's what I'm trying to say. When you know better, you do better. So you need to be instilled at home. Like, teacher's not teaching you shit. Guess what? Your my mother is. My dad is.
Another generation of kids that are being taught about Marcus Garvey. Bro, they don't want to see it, but they're going to have to.
Hello.
Right?
See, because I feel like even if we only 50% there by the time that we pass away, our kids are young. If we can have us and the educators installing them, they could be 100%. By the time they get our age, and they could be doing all of that.
We
We gotta start it right now.
I think that's one of the things that like recently I'm so blessed to have been put in a position where like I graduated from an all white, a predominantly white Catholic private high school, and I go back and I visit, and one of the teachers that like really made it her initiative to like take all the black kids and be like, I'm gonna be real with y'all, like the niggas in here is not on your side. Like people in here are not on your side. And she's white, but like we treat her like our mother because like she was really awesome. Like whenever we went through some shit and like white kids was testing us, like she allowed us to like use her room as like a safe space. So now like I visited her like a week or two ago, and she said, I want to start a mentorship program for the young men of color in the school. And I want you guys, like I want you and your friends to come back and like be the mentors. And then my religion teacher was like, he was like, don't be shy when you graduate. I said, what you mean? I was like, I mean, shit, y'all want to throw me a bone after I graduate? He's like, it's not like dead ass serious. She's like, it's not a bone. We should just hire you. Like he like talk like on some like we don't have like we didn't have any black teachers. But he's like we have 2 here now, and it's like. Listen, you always hear, like you always like have the initiative, like and to me it's kind of like something that I never really thought about. But it's like wow, like have the opportunity to be in the lives of black men so that you can teach young black men. You can be there in those prime years. So you can teach young black men how to be black men, how to treat black men.
Teach black men how to be black men. Because black men don't even know how to be black men because they don't have no example.
The narrative, the dynamic of black men, like the what black men are perceived as, like the ideal black man was not created by the black man. Like it was portrayed by white people.
But that's a conversation. That's a conversation for a whole other day.
Story.
All right, yo. So we just want to finish off with like a couple tips to stay safe and everything like that.
So we want to let you guys know, don't forget to stay aware, try to share your locations with a few friends. Carry mace, a taser, or
all other stuff that you need.
My fist. What happened?
Okay. A little fun fact, if 2 vans they weren't there before and they just block your car, make sure you go in from the trunk or go back in and let someone know what's going on. Just make sure someone is aware, you're not by yourself. And most importantly, try to stay safe and aware. So thank you for tuning into TOBlackTalks. This was amazing. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram at TOBlackTV for updates. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Click, boom!
Thank you.